Have you ever been disrespected by someone who thought your silence was weakness? They drain your energy, twist your words, and make you doubt yourself. But what if I told you that people with high emotional intelligence have 7 specific secrets that make them psychologically untouchable against toxic people? Toxic people are everywhere. Your workplace, your family, even your friend circle. They use manipulation tactics that most people don't even recognize. Gaslighting, guilt-tripping, emotional blackmail. And the worst part? They make you feel like you're the problem. But here's what they don't want you to know. Emotionally intelligent people see right through these games. They've mastered psychological techniques that shut down toxic behavior instantly, without drama, without confrontation, and without losing their peace. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to reveal the exact 7 secrets that elite psychologists use to outsmart toxic people. These aren't generic tips. These are battle-tested psychological strategies backed by research. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to protect yourself, maintain your power, and never let toxic people control your emotions again. Let's dive in. Secret number 1, emotional detachment, the art of not taking it personally. Secret number 1 is emotional detachment, and this is the foundation everything else builds on. Toxic people thrive on your emotional reactions. When you get angry, defensive, or upset, they win. They've successfully pulled you into their psychological game. Emotionally intelligent people understand something critical. Toxic behavior says everything about the toxic person and nothing about you. Here's the psychology behind this. When someone insults you, criticizes you unfairly, or tries to provoke you, they're projecting their own insecurities and pain onto you. Carl Jung called this shadow projection. They're attacking in you what they hate in themselves. The moment you internalize their words, you give them power over your emotional state. But when you practice emotional detachment, you observe their behavior like a scientist studying a specimen. You're not in the experiment, you're watching it. Imagine your coworker constantly makes passive-aggressive comments about your work. "Oh, you're still working on that project? I finished mine yesterday." Most people would feel inadequate or defensive, but someone with emotional detachment thinks, "This person feels threatened by me." Their comment reveals their insecurity, not my incompetence. See the difference? You've separated their toxic behavior from your self-worth. Here's how to practice this today. First, create mental distance. When someone says something toxic, imagine there's a glass wall between you and them. Their words hit the glass and slide off. They never reach you. Second, use the phrase, "That's interesting," internally. When they insult you, think, "That's interesting that they feel the need to say that." This activates your analytical brain instead of your emotional brain. Third, remember this mantra. Their behavior is their autobiography, not my biography. Have you ever successfully detached from someone's toxic behavior? Drop a comment and share how it felt. Secret number 2, strategic silence, using silence as psychological power. Secret number 2 is strategic silence, and this is one of the most powerful weapons in your emotional intelligence arsenal. Toxic people expect reactions. They need your emotional response to fuel their behavior. When you give them silence instead, you completely disarm them. Here's why silence is so powerful. Humans are hardwired to fill conversational voids. When you stay silent after someone says something toxic, they become uncomfortable. The silence forces them to sit with their own words, and suddenly they realize how inappropriate they sound. Research in conversational psychology shows that silence creates psychological pressure. The person who speaks first after an uncomfortable silence is usually the one who feels they've lost control of the interaction. Your family member criticizes your life choices at dinner. When are you going to get a real job? You're wasting your potential. Instead of defending yourself or arguing, you simply look at them calmly and say nothing. 5 seconds pass. 10 seconds. They start fidgeting. "Well, I'm just saying," they backtrack. I'm sure you know what you're doing." You haven't said a word, but you've completely shifted the power dynamic. Your silence communicated, "I don't owe you an explanation. Your opinion doesn't affect my decisions." Here's your strategic silence toolkit. The pause technique. When someone says something toxic, count to 5 before responding. This breaks their expectation of immediate reaction and gives you control. The calm stare. Maintain eye contact without expression. Don't look angry or hurt, just neutral observation. This makes them deeply uncomfortable. The selective response. After the silence, respond to something completely different or change the subject entirely. This shows their toxic comment didn't even register as important enough to address. The walk away. Sometimes the most powerful silence is physical. Simply excuse yourself and leave. No explanation needed. Here's the shadow psychology angle. Toxic people often have a desperate need for attention and validation. Your silence denies them both. It's like they are screaming into a void, and nothing terrifies a toxic person more than being irrelevant. What's the longest you've stayed silent in response to toxic behavior? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious. Secret number 3, boundary setting without guilt, protecting your energy unapologetically. Secret number 3 is boundary setting without guilt, and this is where most people fail. They know they should set boundaries, but they feel guilty doing it. Emotionally intelligent people understand that boundaries aren't mean or selfish. They're essential for psychological survival. Here's what you need to understand. Toxic people are boundary testers. They push and push to see what they can get away with. Every time you let a boundary violation slide, you're training them that your boundaries don't matter. Guilt is the weapon toxic people use to keep you compliant. They make you feel bad for protecting yourself. I can't believe you're being so cold. After everything I've done for you, you're so sensitive. But here's the truth. Anyone who gets upset when you set a boundary is exactly the person who was benefiting from you having none. Your friend constantly calls you at 11 p.m. to vent about their drama. You're exhausted, you have work tomorrow, but you feel guilty saying no because they need you. An emotionally intelligent response. I care about you, but I can't take calls after 9 p.m. I need that time to decompress. Let's schedule a proper catch-up this weekend when I can give you my full attention. Notice what happened? You set a clear boundary, offered an alternative, and didn't apologize or over-explain. You protected your energy without guilt. Here's your boundary setting framework. Step 1. Identify your non-negotiables. What behaviors drain you? Interrupting your work time, showing up unannounced, criticizing your choices. Write them down. Step 2. Use clear language. No maybe, possibly, or I'll try. Say, I don't, instead of, I can't. I do not discuss my personal life at work is stronger than I can't talk about that right now. Step 3. Don't over-explain. The more you explain, the more ammunition you give them to argue. No is a complete sentence. That doesn't work for me needs no justification. Step 4. Expect pushback. Toxic people will test your boundaries immediately. They'll guilt trip, manipulate, or play victim. Stand firm. The first time you enforce a boundary is the hardest. After that, they learn you're serious. Step 5. Consequences matter. If they violate your boundary, there must be a consequence. Reduce contact, end the conversation, or remove them from your life entirely if necessary. Carl Jung said that boundaries are where your shadow meets the world. When you fail to set boundaries, you're abandoning yourself, and that creates resentment, anger, and eventually, you become toxic too. Protecting your boundaries is protecting your psychological integrity. What's one boundary you wish you'd set sooner? Share below. Your story might help someone else. Secret 4. Reading manipulation patterns. Spotting toxic tactics before they hook you. Secret number 4 is reading manipulation patterns, and this is your early warning system. Emotionally intelligent people don't get manipulated because they recognize the tactics before they fall into the trap. Once you know what to look for, manipulation becomes obvious. Manipulation works because it's subtle. Toxic people don't announce, I'm about to manipulate you. They use psychological tactics that bypass your rational brain and trigger your emotions. But every manipulation tactic has a pattern, and patterns can be learned. Tactic number 1, gaslighting. They deny reality to make you doubt yourself. I never said that. You're remembering it wrong. You're being too sensitive. Recognition pattern. You constantly question your own memory and perception around this person. Tactic number 2, guilt tripping. They weaponize your empathy. After everything I've done for you, I guess I'm just a terrible person then. You're making me feel bad. Recognition pattern. You feel responsible for their emotions and obligated to fix their feelings. Tactic number 3, triangulation. They create drama by involving third parties. Everyone thinks I was talking to Sarah and she agrees with me. Recognition pattern. They reference mysterious other people who supposedly share their opinion, but never name them specifically. Tactics are 4. Love bombing. Then withdrawal. They shower you with attention, then suddenly go cold to keep you chasing their approval. Recognition pattern. You feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster, amazing one day, ignored the next. Tactic number 5. Playing victim. No matter what happens, they're always the victim. They take zero accountability, and everything is someone else's fault. Recognition pattern. They never apologize sincerely, only deflect blame or make excuses. Your manager uses gaslighting. You said you'd have this done by Friday. You know you said Monday, but they're so confident you start doubting yourself. An emotionally intelligent response. Let me check my notes. Yes, here's the email where we agreed on Monday. Would you like me to forward it? You've called out the manipulation with evidence, not emotion. They can't gaslight documented facts. Here's your manipulation detection system. Keep records. Document important conversations via email or text. Manipulators hate paper trails. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Your subconscious picks up on manipulation before your conscious mind does. Watch for patterns. 1 incident might be a misunderstanding. 3 incidents is a pattern. 5 incidents is a strategy. Ask clarifying questions. Who specifically said that? When exactly did I say that? Can you show me where that's documented? Manipulators crumble under specific questions. Name the tactic. Sometimes just saying, that sounds like gaslighting, or are you guilt-tripping me right now? Stops them in their tracks. Which manipulation tactic have you experienced most? Comment the number 1 to 5. Let's see which one is most common. Secret number 5. Emotional mirroring, reflecting their energy, back to disarm. Secret number 5 is emotional mirroring, and this is a sophisticated technique that turns toxic behavior against itself. Emotionally intelligent people don't absorb toxic energy. They reflect it back like a mirror, forcing the toxic person to confront their own behavior. Here's the psychology. Toxic people operate with zero self-awareness. They don't realize how their behavior looks from the outside. When you mirror their tone, energy, or words back to them, you create a moment of uncomfortable recognition. This isn't about being toxic back. It's about holding up a psychological mirror so they can see themselves clearly. It's like recording someone's voice and playing it back. Suddenly they hear what everyone else hears. Your sibling constantly interrupts you during family conversations. Mid-sentence, they cut you off. Anyway, what I was saying. Emotional mirroring response. Next time they're talking, interrupt them the exact same way. Anyway. And continue your thought. They'll immediately get offended. Hey, I was talking. Your calm response, exactly. Now you know how it feels. You've just taught them through experience, not lecture. Here's your mirroring toolkit. Tone mirroring. If they speak to you condescendingly, respond in the exact same condescending tone. They'll instantly recognize how disrespectful it sounds. Energy mirroring. If they're cold and distant, match that energy. Don't chase their warmth. Let them feel the disconnection they're creating. Language mirroring. If they use vague accusations, you always mirror it back. You always say I always do things. This exposes how ridiculous blanket statements sound. Behavior. Mirroring. If they show up late repeatedly, start showing up late to things involving them. When they complain, you've made your point. Critical warning. Use this sparingly and strategically. The goal is awareness, not revenge. Once they recognize the behavior, stop mirroring and return to your normal self. Jung believed that we reject in others what we refuse to see in ourselves. Toxic people project their shadow onto you. Mirroring forces them to confront their own shadow, and that's deeply uncomfortable. That discomfort is what creates change. Have you ever mirrored someone's toxic behavior back to them? What happened? I want to hear your stories. Secret number 6. Strategic validation. Disarming attacks by agreeing with the truth. Secret number 6 is strategic validation, and this is counterintuitive brilliance. When toxic people attack you, they expect defensiveness. But emotionally intelligent people do something unexpected. They agree with the part that's true, which completely disarms the attack. Here's why this works. Toxic people weaponize partial truths. They take something real and twist it into an attack. When you defend against the attack, you look guilty. But when you calmly acknowledge the truth, you remove their weapon. This technique is called fogging in assertiveness training. You agree with the truth or possibility of their statement without accepting the toxic interpretation. It's like agreeing with the weather forecast, but not the person's mood about it. Your colleague says, "You're so slow at getting things done. Everyone else finished their reports already." Defensive response, what they expect. "I'm not slow. I'm being thorough. You don't understand how complex my project is." Strategic validation response. "You're right, I do take longer than some people. I prioritize accuracy over speed, and that's a trade-off I'm comfortable with." See what happened? You agreed with the factual observation, you take longer, but reframed it as a deliberate choice, not a flaw. They have nothing left to attack because you've owned the truth on your terms. Attack. "You're so sensitive." Strategic validation. "I am sensitive. It helps me notice things others miss and connect deeply with people. I consider it a strength." Attack. "You never want to go out anymore." Strategic validation. "You're right, I've been choosing to stay in more. I'm prioritizing rest and it's been really good for me." Attack. "You think you're better than everyone." Strategic validation. "I do have high standards for myself. If that comes across as superiority, that's not my intention, but I'm not lowering my standards." Here's your strategic validation formula. Step 1. Find the kernel of truth. What part of their statement is factually accurate, even if the interpretation is toxic? Step 2. Agree with that part. You're right about factual element. Step 3. Reframe on your terms. And here's why that's actually positive, quality, deliberate choice. Step 4. End the conversation. Don't over-explain or justify. State your reframe and move on. Key principle. You're not agreeing with their judgment of you. You're agreeing with the observable fact and providing your interpretation of what it means. This technique works because toxic people feed on your defensiveness. When you refuse to defend, they lose their power. You're essentially saying, "Yes, I am that thing you're trying to shame me for, and I'm completely fine with it." That's ultimate emotional intelligence. What's one criticism someone gave you that you could reframe as a strength? Think about it and share below. Secret number 7. Controlled exits, leaving toxic situations with your power intact. Secret number 7 is controlled exits, and this is your ultimate freedom move. Emotionally intelligent people know that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away, not in anger, not in defeat, but with complete control and dignity. Here's what most people get wrong. They think leaving a toxic situation means the toxic person won, but that's backwards. Staying in a situation that damages you is losing. Leaving is winning. The key is how you leave. Toxic people want you to leave in chaos, slamming doors, burning bridges, proving their narrative that you're the problem. A controlled exit denies them that satisfaction. You leave calmly, deliberately, and on your terms. You're in a meeting where a toxic coworker is publicly undermining you. They're twisting your words, making passive-aggressive comments, and the situation is escalating. Chaotic exit. "I don't have to sit here and take this," storms out angrily. Controlled exit. Calmly close your laptop. I don't think this conversation is productive right now. I'm going to step away and we can revisit this when everyone is ready for a constructive discussion. Leave with neutral expression. The first exit gives them ammunition. See how unstable they are? The second exit positions you as the mature, professional one while still protecting yourself. Here's your controlled exit strategy. The temporary exit. I need to take a break from this conversation. Let's continue later when we're both calm. Use this for heated moments that might resolve. The boundary exit. I've asked you not to speak to me that way. Since you're continuing, I'm ending this conversation. Use this when boundaries are violated. The permanent exit. This relationship isn't healthy for either of us. I'm choosing to step back permanently. Use this for relationships that can't be salvaged. The no explanation exit. Sometimes you don't owe an explanation. Block the number, stop responding, fade out. Not every exit requires a dramatic announcement. Exit principles. Stay calm and neutral. Don't insult or attack on your way out. Don't over-explain or justify. Don't leave the door open if you mean it's closed. Don't respond to their attempts to pull you back in. Jung talked about the necessity of separating from toxic influences to do your shadow work. You can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. Sometimes leaving is the shadow work. It's confronting your fear of being alone, your need for approval, your guilt about prioritizing yourself. Here's what emotionally intelligent people understand. Your peace is more valuable than any relationship. Your mental health is more important than anyone's opinion of you. And walking away from toxicity isn't giving up. It's leveling up. You don't owe toxic people your presence, your energy, or your explanation. You owe yourself protection, peace, and the courage to choose yourself. Have you ever had to make a controlled exit from a toxic situation? How did it change your life? Share your story. It might inspire someone who needs to hear it. Let's recap the 7 emotional intelligence secrets to outsmart toxic people. Secret number 1, emotional detachment. Their behavior is their autobiography, not your biography. Secret number 2, strategic silence. Let your silence create the discomfort they deserve. Secret number 3, boundary setting without guilt. Protect your energy unapologetically. Secret number 4, reading manipulation patterns. Spot the tactics before they hook you. Secret number 5, emotional mirroring. Reflect their energy back to create awareness. Secret number 6, strategic validation. Disarm attacks by owning the truth on your terms. Secret number 7, controlled exits. Leave with your power and dignity intact. Here's your challenge. Pick one of these secrets and practice it this week. Just one. Master it. Then come back and tell me in the comments which one you used and what happened. If this video helped you see toxic behavior more clearly, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more shadow psychology and emotional intelligence strategies, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. You might just save them from years of toxic manipulation. Remember, emotionally intelligent people aren't born. They're built through experience, awareness, and the courage to protect their peace. You have everything you need inside you right now. These 7 secrets are just tools to unlock what's already there. Toxic people only have power if you give it to them. Today, you take it back. I'll see you in the next video. Stay aware, stay protected, and never let anyone dim your light. Peace.